Hey guys, it's day 59 and we're going to, so we've created a crafting bench, which is this thing here. Okay, and I believe my colleague Kent wants a storage container. And I also think that people are making a lot of noise outside today. For some reason, we've decided that it's going to be a noisy day. Anyway, we won't care about that. We've got some development work to do. So, what we're going to do is we are going to create a duplicate of our crafting table. Except, it's going to be storage. Okay, so we're going to drop it in, and we're going to spin it around, and I believe this should be 2 by, okay, it's not going to be 2 by 2. Let's change that back. What's this one? And we've changed it in the... It doesn't look the same size, does it? Don't know why that is. Right, I'd lost my cursor for a minute there. Couldn't see it because I'm old. And more crucially blind. Right. So, basically, what we're going to do is open this up. And in here we're creating a crafting widget. Okay. And you know what we're going to do? What we're going to have to do, right, is in here this isn't going to have a struct food. That's for a kickoff. Right. We're not going to have item data. But that's in a... What I'm going to do is compile this. And then what I'm going to do is make it easier for you guys to see, which I keep forgetting to do. But as long as I remember at some point, we're going to call it all good. And yeah, people outside being annoying today. Right. So we're not going to have an inspect. Okay, the only thing we're going to have is a use. Okay. And we're going to go into our widgets. Right. And we're going to create a folder. Now, this is where we can possibly start reusing things, right, from both the inventory and the crafting. But I think what we'll do is we'll do a bit of drag and drop for a laugh, if I can remember how to do it. So we're going to call this storage. Okay, now we're going to go into our crafting, because we're going to need our two windows, one from our inventory and one that's going to be our storage. Okay, so I'm going to call it, let's say, storage unit. Okay, and then we're going to put it in here as our first item. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to change this to storage unit. Okay, now we're probably not going to have these. We might have the parent, which is going to be a self, right? But it ain't going to be that particular type of widget, right? So we'll copy that, and the first thing we'll do is, oh, I've copied the wrong one. Right, okay, we're going to need to rename this, and we may not actually need this. So we're going to go to crafting main, right, and this is the one we're going to duplicate, right, and this is going to be storage underscore unit. Okay, and it's this one. We're going to move. So we're going to go back to our storage unit, right? So once we've done that, we can basically go to our string table and go to in-game, and then we're going to have storage. That's going to be storage. Okay, then we're going to go here, then this in-game storage, and what we're going to do here is we're going to put our inventory first. We can either do it from, this is the inventory, to storage. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the inventory to the left hand side. Okay, again, we'll leave these sorting buttons for the moment, right? And we're going to have here, we're going to add storage container, and we're going to say storage container. Save that, right? Then this item here, storage container. Okay, now in our first, well, in our GP crafting slots, right, these are not going to be crafting slots. This is going to be storage slots. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's say we've got 20, right? So in our graph, the first thing we'll do is not any of this. And that's the storage item anyway. This is the storage unit. Wait a minute. Right, Coinbase, don't even know who you are. Go away. Right. So, we're going to our storage and our storage unit. Okay? And we're going to the graph. We're saving all that. Okay. Now, we're going to do this, right? Which is the same as before. But in this one, what we're going to do is, well, that's craft item, so we're not going to do that, right? What we're going to do is, we're going to say fill storage grid. Okay. Now, our next port of call is going to be, we need a link between the actual storage, the blueprint of the container, and our actual widget. Okay, so we go to the graph, add a variable, and we'll just say container, right? And it's going to be BP storage. Okay. Now, when we construct this, we are in fact going to expose on spawn, right? And then when we actually build this, so let's go into here and we'll take our time with this. We'll build it up, you know, one bit at a time. So we've got our storage, right? And we're not creating the storage item, right? We're creating the storage unit. Okay. So we're going to refresh the nodes, and it is going to be ourself that's going to go into the container, right? So that gives us a direct link to our actual container. Okie doke. So, proof of concept to start with. Right, so we've got our two boxes. We haven't got a use, which is fine. You'll notice that we've got a storage container, and that is our crafting items, which we're not going to do, right? So we're going to fix that. But what we're going to do is have something in our inventory. Okay. And what we're going to do here is, in this box, we're probably going to have to create this, right? And there we go. We'll save that for now. Okay. So the idea here, okay, is basically that we're going to build this up and we're going to set a number of items that you can have. I'll demonstrate what our goal here is, right? It's a fairly straightforward goal, right? So the idea here is we're going to be able to drag this across into our storage container, right? And what we want here is basically like, let's say 16 slots, right? And then the first thing we want to do is actually outline them, right? So let's get on with that, shall we? So in here, when we construct it, okay, our fill storage grid is not going to be this, that's for sure, right? And we are going to remove these inputs. Okay. And what we're going to need oh, well, there we go. We can delete that for now. And we can delete that for now. And all we need to do is refresh the nodes on that. Right? So we've got our event construct here. And what we're going to do is a couple of for loops. Okay, so what we'll do is for... Hi, Cassadell Gaming, how are you today? So we're doing a for each loop. Right? And then we're doing another... No, we're not. We're not doing a for each loop at all. We're doing a for loop. Right? And we're doing 0 to 3. Then we're doing another one. And that's going to be 0 to 3. Right? So we're going to do this part, and then what we're going to do is this is going to be the row and this is going to be the column. Okay, so first thing is we're going to create a widget, right? As I said, we're just going to build this up nice and slow. And we're going to have a storage item, right? Now at the moment this is going to be blank, right? But we do want to draw basically this thing. and then we're going to add it to our storage slots. So we're going to add child to grid. As I said, we're going to get it drawn as something first so that we can see results, so that it makes us feel good. Okay, now the first thing we're going to have to do here is when we fill this, we're actually going to clear it first. Right, so we're going to grab that and we're going to say clear children. Okay. Right. So this is going to be our row. This is going to be our column. Right. Doing fine, Casa. How are you today? Right, so it's not going to do anything, right? But that's fine, right? What we'll do is we shall well, first thing we're going to do is put that in there, right? And try that again. Alright. And there we go. We've got our inventory. We have our inventory slots. Okay. Now, what we need to do is go into now our BP storage. Okay. And we need to create a variable, right? And it has to be called storage items. And it's going to be an inventory item. And it's going to be that, right? And then we're going to have to tell it, we're going to have to add another variable. And we're going to have to say storage size. Right, and that is going to be an integer. Okay. So now that we've got that, we can limit the number of items. So if we default this, right, we can compile this. Okay, and then we can set this to a default of, let's say, 16, right? And that gives us our 4x4. Okay, right, so let's default this. Hi, Young Min Kim. How are you doing? What we'll do is we'll add an item here, right? So we'll say 4. Right, now this is only ever going to be a quantity of 1. Right, now 4 is deer meat, so that's a food. But we're obviously going to get the details and fill them in as we go here, right? So we'll say image is deer. It's actually a stag, I think. Right, let's go stag. Right, so we'll save that. And now what we're going to do, this might change of course, right? But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our container, right? Then we're actually going to do another, yeah, okay. I mean, we could do this a couple of ways, right? What we could do is we could transfer, right, we've got our container here, right? And we really want storage items, right? This is our storage items, okay? Now, what we could do is we could transfer these items over into the container, right? And work on it that way. Or we could leave them in the container and just basically do it dynamically as we're actually doing stuff, right? So the funny thing is that what we can do here, right, is when we do this, right, we're going to actually pass in, we're going to do another variable, right, and it's going to be called array index, okay, and that is going to be an integer. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it to 0 when we start, okay. Then when we go to get our storage item widget, let's open that up. Right, so this is our storage item. Then we're going to go to our graph, and then we're going to get our variable, and we're going to say array. In fact, what we'll say is container index. Okay, and that's going to give us a direct link back to our blueprint of what item that we're actually dealing with. Okay. And it's going to be expose on spawn, right? Because we really want to pass that in when we actually build it. Okay. Because we can get the item directly from the storage container. Okay. So after that, this array index at the end, array index right? We're going to increment that. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is get a copy of that, and we're going to be popping in our array index, and then this is actually going to give us the item that we need. Okay. Now we could do this. Well, we'll just say self on that, right? And that is going to go in there. Okay, so we need to go to our storage item, and the parent is actually going to be storage main, storage unit, right? And so this is going to give us access to our blueprint and the parent, right? So that we can refresh the parent and stuff like that. Okay, that once we do the drag and drop, okay. Right, so we're not going to be doing that. In fact, we're probably not going to be doing that either. Right? So anyway, we can do this in two different places, to be fair, right? We refresh the nodes, right, and we put that in there. Then we can copy that or cut it. We can put the array index in there, right? And then we'll basically let the thing do it itself. Okay. We're not going to need this, and we're not going to need the item name or the item image, because they're all going to come from the container, the item in the container itself. Okay. So in our storage item, right, we're going to delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste that. We're going to get our container index. Okay. Now, here's the thing. What we're going to do is in our BP storage, right, we're going to trash everything, right, but we're going to add $16 items. In fact, no, we're not. Right? What we're going to do is, on begin play, right, we're going to come in here, we're going to get our storage items, and we're going to add right. Then we're going to do a for loop, right? So we're going to add basically empty items in here, okay? And that's, so basically it's going to be to storage size, right, -1, -1, so integer minus integer, okay, and we're going to add, okay. So what we really want to see here is when I'm going to make this visible, okay, so that when we press play, right, and we type in storage, right, we should have a default and we've got 16 elements, right? Okay, so there's our 16 elements. Okay, now they're all going to be empty, right? But that's basically what we want. Okie doke. So that's good. Now what we are going to have to do here is, hi Anders, how are you? We are going to have to check this, and we're going to have to add EMS, okay, and if we do use EMS, we are going to have to check the length of this array, okay, so that we don't try and set it up again if it's actually been saved. So we're going to say is not equal to, and it's actually just going to be storage size, right? Okay, so this is me future proofing it for EMS, which is easy multi-save, right? So we're going to branch off of here, join these up, okay, there we go. It's not Andrew Siddleker. It's not at the moment, but we are considering it for a Kickstarter. What's the thing they're called again when you do like a Kickstarter bonus if you reach a certain, a stretch goal, that's it, stretch goal. It's possibly going to be a cooperative, but as a stretch goal, right? Because basically multiplayer adds about a factor of 10 to the complexity of the programming. So it's an awful lot of work, especially if the game isn't multiplayer to start with, right? It's really quite difficult to then go back and add it, which is why it's going to be a stretch goal, right? Because it's a lot of work and a lot of effort. Then you need more assets, more this, more that. You need to redo everything basically. But it is something we have talked about, and as I said, we are considering it as a stretch goal. Okay, so we've got our storage container, right, and it's creating an array to the size we want, right, so that now when we get to our storage unit we can do this other stuff, right? So when we create our widget, we can actually get our storage item, right? Now these are all going to be blank to start with because obviously all of these are empty, okay? But one gets the point. But once we start dragging our package around and dropping it, then we can actually update both our widget and the actual storage container. Okay, so we're doing the donkey work that this is basically going to do. Okay, so we're going to get our parent, then container, and then the container is going to go in there. That's going to get removed. That's going to go in there. That's going to go there. Right? We can drag that out. We can pick up this stuff later. It's just the proof of concept, shall we say. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is a bit of an override. Okay? So we're going to be doing on drag detected. Okay. And the pointer event is going to be, I believe, is it? Is it I can't remember where it is. Is mouse button down? I think it's going to be mouse. Let's put it left mouse button, right? Right, and we're going to do a branch. And we've got a drag operation, right? Can't remember how to do this. I'm going to probably have to reference back, but that's okay, we can do that. We can check if it's firing or not, right? I do know that we make up a package. Right? So we're doing that. Oops a daisy. Escape that. Right. This is the storage item. Yeah, that's okay. This should actually still work. No. Yeah, should. It just looks kind of rubbish because I've not got... So... okay, so it's not detecting there. Right. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We are going to need to do something with the inventory slot, right? Because normally the inventory, you just open the inventory, right? Whereas in this, you'll be able to drag and drop the inventory. Okay, but we'll need to take a look at that. So, we're going to go back to here. And just as a little tester, right, what I'm going to do is in here, I'm going to actually add, and well, I don't know if I can or not, but we'll soon find out. I don't know if I can at runtime, right, but let's have a look. Right, if we go to our storage, we've got 16 items, right? And if I stick an image in here, let's go for the stag, right? Then I click here. There we've got our stag, right? That, though, is not detecting the mouse down or the drag thing, right? But we'll have a look at that in a second. But first of all, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe, I'm going to grab a quick cigarette. I'm going to open up another project where I did drag and drop before. I don't remember off the top of my head how you do it. Well, I don't remember off the top of my head how you do every single step of it, put it that way, so I'm obviously going to have to reference back to a project where I've done it, right? So I'm going to grab a cigarette and a comfort break, stick on a coffee. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Check the description for various links to supporting the channel, etc., and Discords, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, we are back. Have I ever worked with Blender? Yes, I have. I'm not very good at it and it takes me ages to do anything, but yes, I have. Right, so back to our drag and drop, right? And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to reference Fabrica Espace so that we don't need to learn how to do the whole thing all over again, because as I said, I've done it before, so there's no point in recreating the wheel. So anyway, good afternoon, Storm Run. And guys, we are only 8 subscribers away from 800, which will be incredible. Don't ask me about animations in Blender, because that's just not going to happen. Right, because basically I couldn't get it to work at all, right? And I don't have the patience for that. I've got the patience of a saint, but not for that. Right, so what we need here is the HUD, the widgets in game, and it's not that. Okay. Where is it? UI, game, hotbar, inventory. Sounds good. Actually, you know what it should be? It should be crafting. Now, we could also do it in here. Yeah, man, I was just trying to get a chest to open and I couldn't get it to work, so I just did it in just did it in Unreal. I just made it in 2 parts and just basically pivoted it on a particular thing, you know. Now, hotbar management sounds good. Right. Let's go to the graph. Now the question is, do we have overrides? Unclick button close. We're looking for drag and drop stuff, right? Because as I said, can't remember how to do it. Hotbar item. It's going to be hotbar item, isn't it? Right. Activates hotbar with button. Okay. Drag drop image. Okay. I wonder where this is referenced. Could be that. Ah, here we go. On drag detected. So this is a drag drop operation. Okay. So, okay. Our payload is self. I'm working on a storage container. Storm run. So it's basically inventory management to storage container. Right, so, okay. So we're going to keep this open on the other screen. So if you're talking to me and I don't answer, then you know that basically I'm referencing this other project. So I'm not ignoring you. It's just that we don't do this. Right, now I'm sure there is somewhere you do this, but I can't remember where it is. Right, and create a drag drop operation. Okay. And our payload is actually going to be fairly simple, right? It's going to be an inventory item, right? So we're going to drop that in there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a widget. Okay, and it's just going to be the storage item widget. Okay. And we're just going to have basically self. Ah, wait a minute. Ah. That's the storage unit. So what we could do basically here is duplicate that, right? And call it drag drop. Okay. And in here we're not actually going to have most of this stuff. Right? All we're going to have is this. And that should do us. Right? So we don't need that. Or do we? Yeah, we do. Actually, you know what? We don't. All we need is basically, we don't need that. We maybe need the container index. Yeah, we do, because we need it there, right? but we don't need. Yeah, we can do it with that, I suppose. Right, so if we go back to there, right, we can actually just go like that, and then like that, then like that, and then we need we actually need the inventory item, right? So make inventory item. Okay, so we can't do that. Yeah. Okay. What I'll do is we'll just create a new blueprint class, right? And we'll just call it actor. Right. I'm going to go reference my other project to see what I did here. Right. Right, okay. I just actually what I do is I delete this. Right, and I just got a reference to self. Right, because the self has the stuff in it that we need anyway. Okay. And I don't think we need any offset. Nah. Don't need an offset. I'll move this off screen again. Don't need an offset. Center. We don't need a tag. Right. And this is the storage item. Okay. So again, what we can do is we can come in here, we can say number 4 and stag, click on that. Okay, then up to here, grab that, and well, that's not working very well, is it? I'm going to take that hover off anyway. Right. So we're going to get rid of them. Okay. On drag detected, which is what we're doing. Let's have a look again. Ah. Okay. Right, that makes sense. I knew there was one little bit I was missing here. Right, we need to do another override, and it is on the mouse button down, so I was doing that actually right. Right. You know, this was the one I was talking about. And it is mouse left button. Let's just make sure I've got that right. Yep. Okay. Then we return value here. Okay. We can press play. Do this again. Say 4. This is just to make it, I mean, this doesn't make any difference. It's just to make it more obvious to you guys. Right? So that's not working. Okay, add a breakpoint. We're going to do right mouse button. Save that. And mouse button down. We're doing that. That's fine. That should work. Right, we don't, as I said, we don't actually need to fill in the details for that. Right. Ah, middle button. Well, what? That worked on the middle button, guys, not on the right button. Ah, it's working right now. Right. So all of a sudden it's decided to start working. Right? But it doesn't work. Right, it's only working on the right button, the right mouse button now, which is exactly what we want, except we wanted it on the left, right? and it's not happening on the left. But I know I had problems before on this one, right? Getting it to work on the left hand mouse and left mouse button. All right. See how it doesn't work? Hi CITES, how can I lower the lag in Unreal Engine 5 when I am testing? You can rewrite it in 4.27. I don't know, mate, I had the same problems. It's in my video that basically sometimes Unreal Engine 5 just absolutely tanks your machine, right? Which is why I still use 4.27, because this would be practically impossible to run. So I don't know why. I'm going to have to do a bit of investigation, but I knew about this, that the left mouse button was kind of weird. Right, so I'm just going to actually do it on the right mouse button for now, just to get it working right. So yeah, there's that. And what we're going to do I'm sorry I can't help you CITES, but as I said, lots of people have come to the same conclusion as me, right? The Unreal 5 on some machines and whatever just absolutely tanks your frame rate. Right, so we've done that, right? And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit of a sneaky thing here. What's this blueprint? Where'd that come from? Oh yeah, that's right. That was the one I was going to create for the payload, but I don't need it. Right, so anyway, what we're going to do, right, is we're going to do a bit of sneakiness, right? I'm going to go into my inventory item, okay? And I'm going to go into my inventory slot, right? Now remember, this is what we use for our inventory, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to allow the inventory slot to also drag and drop, okay? But only under certain circumstances, right? So the way we're going to do it is we're going to go to our graph, right? And we're going to create those overrides, right? On drag detected, right? And then we're going to do on mouse button down, okay? But, and here's the sneaky part, right? We're going to add a variable, and we're going to say, we're going to call it allow drag drop, okay? And it's going to be instance editable and expose on spawn, okay? Now on our mouse button down, right? We're going to do detect drag if pressed. Okay, as before, right? We're going to do exactly this as before. Hey, Toad Medicine. I recognise the name. I think you've been here before. It's good to see you back. But what we're going to do is we're going to check this, right? We're going to get it and we're going to branch. Okay, and if this is true, which by default it's not, right? We're going to allow this to work. Okay? And then, and only then, right, we're going to do the exact same thing as we did in our storage drag drop. Okay? What the heck? Ah, that's storage till you drag drop. Ah, okay, whatever. Right, we don't need this. So we're going to close that down. We're going to go back to our storage item and we're going to get our drag detected. Now this is going to be a little bit different. And we actually did need that. So let's go back. So graph, we don't need this, and we don't need this. Right, we don't need that in our, but what we might need is an inventory drag drop. Hey, Lackamark. I think you should create a widget drag when you select your blueprint class. I'm doing that, mate. I'm just building it out. But I've got two separate sets of widgets going here, right? Because I've got widgets that are in the storage container and I've got widgets that are in the inventory, right? So both of them are going to have to be drag dropped and they're both going to have to be into each other. So I'm just building it up from there, right? So this is going to have to do a drag drop, right? But we've not got a widget yet, right? But this one is going to be able to drag into here, right, and become part of this inventory, and this one is going to be able to drag into the storage container and get stored in here, right? So we're gradually doing our drag drop. Don't worry, it's happening. It's just that I'm basically building it out. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm going to duplicate this for the sake of it. And I'm going to call it inventory drag drop. Right, but I've got, as I said, I've got to be careful here because I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I don't need to do that. drag drops are done via widgets, because basically they're drag dropping widgets, right? So when we do our storage unit, right, and we create the inventory stuff, we need to set the flag that it's going to allow drag drop. Okay, so when we fill the inventory grid, right, we're going to be doing this. So we create our inventory slot, we're refreshing the nodes, and we're going to allow drag drop. Okay, so that's going to take our two different systems. So in the inventory, you're not going to be able to drag drop, right? Because the inventory is inventory, right? And it's just the display of the inventory. But I want the same widget, but I don't want drag drop. Okay, and probably I don't even want the tooltip, so we can switch off the tooltip as well with this, okay? So we should now be able to drag our inventory slots as well as our other slots, and then we can start thinking about doing the drop. Okay. So what was I going to do again? Can't remember. Oh yeah, I was going to pick something up, wasn't I? So we're going to take that, and we're going to take that, right? Then we're going to go in here. Ooh, that's not working. So our inventory slot is not working. Okay. That's because we didn't do shit here. Right? So we've got our mouse button. Right? And basically, go to our storage item, and we're just doing this. So we can do this again. Now we're doing it slightly different this time. But we'll get there. It's not, it's 100%. 99% lack of mark is 99% of Unreal Engine 5 is exactly the same as Unreal Engine 4, right? Yeah, drag drop, I've done it before. It's just remembering how to do it. It's not a big deal. It is not a big deal at all. So we want inventory. Right, these are going to get done. Our struct item, we're just going to build it, right? And that's going to be fine. Right, because what we can do here is we don't need a parent. All we need is this. And it's actually not that right? But we'll build it out, right? As I said, we're just testing the waters here, right? I can make this up, right? So we can basically say 4, right? And then we can go with, I think it was food, wasn't it? Was it food? I can't remember. Doesn't really matter, just put anything in, right? We'll fill this in later. We just want to get our basic drag and drop in and being able to see it actually working and take it from there, right? So why is this not playing ball? Why are you not playing ball? Let's see if it's actually doing what it should be doing. Well, that's not going to help. Duh. Right. Grab that. Grab that. Over here. There we go. Right. Now, it's obviously not filling in the image, but we shan't worry about that. I wonder if we could do that. I wonder. Right, let's right, go your inventory slot, right? Go your drag drop. Do I actually need to create this? See if I just say self. I'm wondering. See if I just do that. The icy. I'm guessing you're talking about around the edge here. Is that what you're talking about? Because if it is, then I do know what, I think I know what it is part of. I think it's part of Infinity Weather. Right? I think it's part of this. I don't know where I'll find it. Right, so that's, I think it's part of this, right? Let's just make sure I've got this right. I think it's part of this though. Let's go textures. It could be froze this thing here. As I said, I think it's a post-process thing, right? Let's have a look at permutations. DFS. Yeah, well there you go then, it's infinity weather. I thought it was in there. Right, so where were we? Oh yeah, we were going to test this again to see if that was the most obviously simple thing in the world. Right, so we're going to take that. Take that. Then go to here. Yeah, there you go. Right, so we can do it like that. Right, so that makes life a lot blooming simpler. Right, because now what I can do is I can just go into here and go to the storage item, and we don't actually need to do this, right? We just actually go self, right? Because the widget store is storing all the information I need anyway, right? Which is basically the container index. Right, so this should now be fairly straightforward to swap between our inventory and the container, hopefully. But we'll see. How many subscribers are we on, guys? We can't be far away from 800, because normally when you get close to like 100 or something, people actually hit the subscribe button. We're 6 short. Right, we're on 794. Anyway, anyway. Right. So we're going to go, and we need our storage unit, right? And we need the designer, and we're going to go, this is not what we want. Yeah, this is what we want, I think. Yeah, inventory slots. Right. So in here, I can't remember how to do this, right? So I'm going to have to refer to Fabric Espace. Right, okay. So let's learn this for the start again, eh? Why not? Right. So we're in our graph, and we're going to do overrides. And on drop. Okay. Now the question is, and again, can't remember. Right, where do you think this is, guys? Tell you what we'll do, right? This is Fabrica Espace that does the drag drop, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in on drop. Right? And then because we can't find it, we do the binoculars, and then we've got on drop. Okay, and it's actually on a widget. Okay, so this is the on drop, which is the payload, right? And this is removing it from a thing. So in reality, we need to do a couple of things here. Right? We're going to get this drag drop. Right? We're going to delete this for now. We're going to drop onto our storage item. Right? So we're going to say on drop. Okay. We're going to get the payload. Now we know this is a certain type of widget, right? Now if we're dropping it onto there, it's an inventory slot. Okay. So we can actually test this out. If we add a breakpoint and compile it. Right, and we can check what this actually is. I'm glad you found that, Toad Medicine. If it fits your needs, then that's great. Right, so into storage. And bang. And you can see that we have our inventory slot. Right? If we step over here, we have our inventory slot, right? So we can pull off this now and basically swap it across. So all we need now is the two operations. Now what I'm going to have to do, and what was kind of a bit weird, is that the on drop, right, has to be on a widget, right? So basically I'm going to have to create a widget here, right? so that I can drop it on it. Okay? So, yeah, there's that. I'm going to have to drop a widget on here, or make a widget that is basically this scroll box with, or make this GP inventory slots into a widget that's on, basically on its own, right? So that I can drop stuff onto it, right? So I'm going to do that this afternoon while I'm off stream. Check out the description, hit like and subscribe. The description has my Discord, the game's Discord. There's two separate Discords, right? My personal one where I help people, and the game one where we also help people but we update screenshots of the game and stuff like that. And also my Patreon and my previous game on Steam, which is available for $1. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for those who subscribe. Always thankful for that. And I shall see you tonight at 8 PM Central. Bye bye for now.